Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Let's Play Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I apologize for this coming out much later in the day. I was recording this really late last night and did not have time to do a voiceover. I also wanted to make it through the SSAN. That'll be next episode coming out on Thursday. Hopefully I will have enough time to do that. My schedule's been pretty stretched this week. I've been really trying to fit everything into like one day, but here we can see an officer's being harassed by a little Squirtle man, which is actually going to be pretty interesting here come a little bit later in the episode. But this episode is really going to be all about creating the dream team. So I've talked about it for a while. I know a good chunk of the Pokemon that I want on the team, and we're actually able to catch 2 of them here today, and then a really good substitute for one moving forward, which will be a hint as to who the final Pokemon will be there. But yeah, we're able to take some steps in the right direction. I think it's going to make the SSAN a lot harder because we're sort of starting with newer Pokemon, if that makes sense, like rebuilding our team from the ground up. And I don't want to rely on Nidoking too much as a crutch. Otherwise, I know he'll wind up on the team, even though he's like such a great Pokemon. Like I said, a lot of times it's the Pokemon of choice for those speed running through these games. I really don't want like a Pokemon that makes the game ungodly easy, even though if you saw the thumbnail, I get one that makes the game pretty easy. But I don't know. I have mixed opinions about him, but we'll get into that when we get into it. But here we go. I'm putting Green Thumb out there. I do want Green Thumb to evolve before we get him off the team, because I don't know. I had him in Pokemon Yellow, I believe I used him, but I had never used him before. And he was a big help there. I'm always happy to have Green Thumb on the team. He's such a solid Pokemon for this generation. I particularly don't love like the grass typing, especially mixed with poison. I know that's what Bulbasaur is and all the evolutions of Bulbasaur there, but for me, it's never been like a personal favorite, and maybe that is because I rely on psychic types a lot in these games. You know, that's probably a good reason why, but yeah, just the grass typing in general. I usually cover it with the electric typing. Now, I do think we'll have a grass type Pokemon in this generation that we want to use on our final team, but like I said, in my opinion, like when I'm playing through Kanto, I'm typically playing through Yellow, so I typically start out with a Pikachu, so I have a good electric starter. If I'm playing through Red or Blue, I'll typically get a Jolteon. Like, I just don't feel like there's really a need for a good grass-type Pokemon if you have a really solid electric-type Pokemon, so it's never been, like, my choice. Plus, yeah, I usually start with Charmander, so I usually have good coverage over the grass-type. It's not like I need something neutral there. I don't really start with Squirtle, so I'm usually not inherently weak to it. Not that that would really make a huge difference because you get flying types and whatnot like that, but I never really rely on the grass type a lot, although I did in the last Let's Play we did when we did the Nuzlocke of Fire Red. I had an Executor on the team, and he was a big help come the final couple levels there. Like, just huge. Like, out of this world. But here's a Vulpix. Vulpix a really cool Pokemon. I'm not as big of a fan on Vulpix and Ninetales as I am Growlithe and Arcanine, and there's probably a good reason for that. I really can't pinpoint it. It just, they don't seem as hard-hitting in my opinion. And here you can see I'm really struggling with the Pokeballs. Like, they just consistently give me a hard time on my system for whatever reason. I think it's because I only play this like in preparation for these videos. Like, it's not like I'm playing in between, so like getting used to the controls is a constant struggle. And I do hope you guys can hear the game audio a little bit better in this episode. I saw on my Let's Play of Super Mario 64 that somebody had pointed out that the game audio was a little bit lower there. You know, for me it's really difficult to tell, and to be honest, I really hate my speaking voice, so I don't go back and listen to my own videos. You know, like, I don't go and critique them myself. So I really love it when you guys leave feedback like that, like comments that like point me in the right direction of like, hey, this is lacking or this is whatever, because it really helps me make these videos better for you guys, which at the end of the day is all we really want to do, right? I'm not watching these videos for my own amusement. I will admit that I do put them on when I leave the house, so that way the dog can listen to my voice nonstop. I'm sure she appreciates that on some level. But outside of that, yeah, I don't watch my own stuff that I post. You know, I have an idea of like what it looks like when I post it, but like outside of that, really nothing. So I appreciate any type of feedback like that on the videos. I think on another video somebody just said boo, which is really great feedback, you know. Really hard hitting what I should improve there, but regardless, like I said, any type of feedback is feedback, and I'll review it and try to progress in a better way. I don't know. Not much else you could say besides that, but there we go. We caught a Jigglypuff as well, and Green Thumb leveled up. Good job, Green Thumb. Still not evolving, it appears, but we do get to add Jigglypuff to our Pokedex, which is very nice. And like I said, this video is going to be a little bit shorter, probably not much, which goes to show like I would have had to cut a ton of this out, but I really just did not have the time to do that this week, folks, you know. It was not on the radar. But here we can see YouTube down there, because of course we can. Pick up these berries here, and then we'll go and we'll talk to YouTube. YouTube, what do you got for us today? Oh man, it's going to be a whole cut screen thing. Yeah, so this one's honestly not really all that exciting of an episode, if I'm going to be really honest. We are forming our team, which is pretty cool. You know, we're taking steps in the right direction. It looked like YouTube was about to kiss me there. YouTube, you sly dog, you. You sly dog. But actually, he was pulling a revive out of our hair, which is okay as well, I guess. The game's handing me a lot of items, like left and right. I feel like I definitely don't have to go out of my way to purchase them. I do occasionally go and sell like all the Pokeballs that trainers give me and upgrade them to Great Balls. So that's something fun I've been doing, but yeah, outside of that, and I give him one of my SSN tickets as well. I thought I recalled in the original, like, he just had one, or snuck his way on the ship or something. I never recall giving him one in the past, so I think that's new to this Let's Play series, so there's a little bit of fun trivia that either I was too stupid to pick up on in the previous games, or I was right, and he just magically has one in the other games, or Bill gives him one or something. I don't know. I just always thought he had one. I never thought that like we gave him one. It seems kind of odd that we would give him one and Bill would gift us two. It seems like an odd choice. But you could go back and watch the previous video. Maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm having a major brain lapse here. But I do plan to have the SS Ann will probably be our hot topic here, coming out on Thursday for this Let's Play series. And then the second world of Super Mario World, we'll see what world that is. I really have no idea at the top of my head. I'm trying to like make a go plan as I walk through that, but I want to be consistent with that stuff, so that'll all be coming up later this week. Like I said, some of it may be coming out like a little bit later in the afternoons. I'm hoping the Thursday video here is sorted out, but the Mario video might be coming out like later on Friday afternoon instead of Friday morning as per our usual schedule. Like I said, my schedule's just been stretched pretty thin this week. Had a long weekend, and you know, sometimes it goes that way, folks. Sometimes that's the way she goes. Just sort of have to roll with the punches. But here we go. I do believe I cut a little bit of this out here because I do find an Abra originally, but I'm not able to catch it, and then to find a second one takes me about 15 minutes of gameplay time. But like I said, I didn't want to like get into any trainer battles that were unnecessary or anything like that at this point, because I really want the EXP to go to, like, you know, who's going to be on our team. Like, they deserve the EXP. But here we go. We got an Abra over here. Abra in the house, and Abra's moving left to right, which makes this infuriating. Like, just catching Abra in general becomes a hassle here. And this is why the first one got away from me, as you can see here. And it really is, I think it's like where my Switch is positioned on my television and things like that. Like, it is just not cutting me any slack. So I'm hoping here, fingers crossed, we can get him on the first one that actually landed, because, dear God, we can't. Of course we can't. Yeah, it's become a major headache to catch Pokemon, especially Pokemon that move like that. Like, I know a lot of Pokemon tend to stay still and they're not a big deal to catch, or if they do roam around, like they roam around for a little and then generally come back to the middle spot. But that one was a big one. And there, Birdman leveled up, King leveled up, and Nick leveled up. Good job, Nick, man. Nick, usually not a hard hitter we see on these Let's Plays. It's good to see Nick out and alive out there. Although I do think we're going to replace Nick now with Abra. I think that might be the move. I'm not sure. I forget who I replaced with Abra. Definitely not Green Thumb, because Green Thumb's going to get an evolution. Yep, it's Nick. Sorry, Nick. Sorry. No, honestly, like, I've played with Gyarados so many times. And it's just sort of become my thing to, like, name Magikarp Nick. But it's after a buddy. We used to do a good old podcast here on the channel, like way back in the day when I first started. You might be able to find some old episodes of that out here. But I'm gonna name this guy Spoons. I think about going with Spoon Man, but Spoons is a lot better, I think. I think it's gonna fit the rest of my team very well. I think you'll see the general. No, we want Spoons with a Z, baby. That's how we do it over here. Spoons with a Z. Look at that, Spoons. I like it. So there we go. We got that. Gun Show, of course, is going to hang on the team till the end of time. We never ditch our starter. We think about it at times, but we never do it. And here we go. Because I know this next Pokemon isn't going to be on the team for a very long time, I do name him what I named him in my speed run, because I do feel like it is the perfect name for him. If you agree, please drop it down in the comments below. It always gives me a good chuckle. And I actually had somebody, when he died in the Let's Play Nuzlocke, say RIP in his name, and it brought life to my life. It was the light of my life for like a week after I saw that comment, because I don't think the commenter understood exactly what they were saying. But I will go over that when we go and name this guy right here, because it's my favorite Nuzlocke name that I came up with on the spot, and it brought me so much joy when this commenter threw that in there. So here we go. We caught a Diglett. Diglett is a solid ground type Pokemon for this point in the Nuzlocke, or this point in the Let's Play. Sorry, I'm so used to doing that stuff. It's but let's get out of here, and then we'll give him his good old nickname that I always give him. Because, yeah, I mean, Dugtrio's a good Pokemon, but I never really utilize him up until the end of the game. Like, he's really good for this electric type gym, and then sort of mediocre throughout the rest of the game. He's a really great ground type Pokemon. I just don't really use ground type Pokemon. But the Pokemon replacing him will be a ground type. That's my only hint there. But here we go. Let's get rid of King for him. That seems like a good trade-off. And let's give him his nickname. I mean, it's not a good trade-off, but I'd sort of be using them for the same purpose. So we're going to give him his traditional name on the team. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, my foreskin. He has returned to me. I got my foreskin back, baby! Woo! Yes, so when I did the Nuzlocke, somebody put RIP foreskin. That's the comment. And I had a lot of fun with that comment for a long time. I just gave it a thumbs up because I didn't want anybody to take it down. I didn't want any additional comments on it, but man, R.I.P. foreskin. It's so great. There we go. I'm just teaching some moves at this point in time, honestly. Looking through who could learn what. Spoons can't really learn a whole lot right now, so I'm going to give him Headbutt, I think. Just so that way he has a move. I think he levels up. I thought it was level 20. I think it actually comes a little bit sooner in this Let's Play for whatever reason. I'm not sure why they did that. Because I think the wait is sort of worth it for Pokemon like that. Like, if anything, I think Nick should get a quicker level up, but it's not the way the game views it. And I'm actually going to give Ratman Dig And I'm only doing this because we have unlimited digs, number one. And number two, I think it's a really good strategy for going up against the electric type gym leader. Like for an electric type to have a ground type move. That way if we need to rely on Ratman, he can't take too much damage, but could deal out a super effective move. Like, I think that's a really good strategy. I could be wrong in that, but to me, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know. Drop in the comments below if I'm just losing my noodle here, but to me, that makes a lot of sense. And then we go and we talk to this lady, and she's like, do you prefer Growlithe or Meowth? And I'm like, Growlithe, of course. And she's like, if you catch 5 of Meowth, I'll give you a Pokemon that you can ride on its back. So that's pretty snazzy. Let's go and catch some of those. And I'm going to cut out here. So this isn't catching a Meowth, I don't believe, but I actually found something really cool while I was looking through the bushes. You see that right there? Look at that. That is, I think that's an extremely rare encounter. We came across a freaking wild Squirtle. Wild Squirtle. That has to be rare, man. To find a starter? Like, that's crazy. The odds of catching this guy have to be extremely low. I mean, I spend long enough doing it, and to be honest, Squirtle's not going to join the team. Like I said, I'm really holding myself to a standard that I will not catch any of the starter Pokemon and use them on the team. That was my go-to standard while entering this game, was that I just did not want to use the same team that I used for Yellow again. Because if I was going to do that, I can tell you right now my team would be Eevee, Charizard, Blastoids, Venusaur. I forget if it's Venusaur or Ivysaur. I believe it's Venusaur, right? There's 4. 5 would be Kadabra, and 6 would be Dragonite. That would be my team, guaranteed, 100%. So I just didn't want to duplicate that. I wanted something new. You know, something different to come out of this Let's Play. Because we tend to use the same team over and over again, just because we're familiar with it, and I just don't want to wind up in that scenario, folks. But I decided to go over and talk to this guy as well. I believe I did not have enough Pokemon caught previously to actually obtain this Charmander, but now I legitimately might, so let's go and check. It's not getting strong. I want to give it to a better trainer. Am I interested? He checks. He says, the number of Pokemon you caught is 56. I'll give you my Charmander. Will you take it? Yes, I'll take Charmander. Charmander's an awesome Pokemon. And honestly, after we finish this, I may switch my team up, like after we beat the Elite Four, just so that way Average Joe can have like his final resting place in Kanto, right? With the original trio, Dragonite, and a Kadabra, but we won't be utilizing them like in the actual gameplay itself. But here I caught a Meowth, and this was the fallout. Green Thumb finally leveled up enough that he could evolve, which is super exciting. I didn't include catching the Meowth because, like I said, I'm trying to make this relatively short, the voice recording here, so we could just get it out tonight and get this video posted up there for your viewing pleasure. If you like these videos, hey, drop a like. Why not? Why not? Who wouldn't do it? But there we go. Now that he's evolved, I'm pretty good to switch him out of the team. Don't really foresee myself using him in the future. And let's catch this last Meowth here. I believe this is the final one we actually have to catch in order for me to go and obtain my new Pokemon, who will also be added to the team. Like I said, we're really moving through a lot of these Pokemon and catching what feels like a ton. And Spoon's leveled up. So Spoons grew to level 18. And Spoons gets an evolution. That is fantastic. It used to be 20. I know it was 20 because I played with Spoons enough times to know it was 20. He's my go-to man in Kanto. There he is with his Spoon. Spoons! Congratulations, Spoons. You have joined the team. I like to think of him if you ever seen Futurama. Like they got clamps. We got Spoons. What you got on that? What you gotta say? And Spoons learned Kinesis and Spoons learned Psybeam right away, right out of the gate. So Spoons is immediately one of the most useful Pokemon on our team. Like, it's such a quick transition that it's like, oh yeah, and now Spoons is 100% useful in every single battle moving forward. And I caught 5 Pokemon, so now I get an Arcanine in return, now that I caught 5 Meowths for this lady. So there we go, Arcanine. There we go. That's pretty snazzy. And we could actually ride Arcanine around. I believe you're going to get to see a minute or two of that. But if you like this episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff is free and greatly motivates myself to make videos just like this in the future. We'll be playing this series on Tuesday and Thursday, and Mario 64 on Monday and Friday. Like I said, next episode here will be moving on to the SS Anne, and then for the Mario 64, it'll just be another world. I don't know which one it is at the moment, but here we go. Let's name this guy. Let's name him Taiga. Taiga. There we go. So we got Taiga, Gunshow, Ratman, Birdman, Foreskin, and Spoons. And of course, Birdman will be leaving the team at some point in time, but is pretty useful for right now, and Ratman as well. I think Spoons is going to stay on, and Gunshow and Foreskin is pretty similar to the Pokemon that's going to fulfill his role, to be honest, but just a Pokemon I don't traditionally use in a Let's Play, so gonna switch that up once we get the chance. And once we put Taiga in that top position there, we can ride around on Taiga. Look at that, that's pretty snazzy. I'm really liking the look of that. That's going to be a lot of fun to play around with in future episodes. But that's it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I know this episode was a little bit quicker and a little bit just sort of gun show, if you will. But yeah, Thursday we should be heading on to the SS Anne and hopefully getting through all of it in one episode. And then we'll be moving on to our third gym following that. So everybody take it easy, and we'll see you all here on the next one. Peace out. Have a snazzy week.